Hello, and welcome back to Let's Build a Steampunk City. Now I'm betting some of you didn't think there was going to be an episode today, but here we are. So we panned by what we did last time, our foundation of our Steampunk City, but now it's time to dig into the industrial district, which is going to be that first orange district right here. So what is in an industrial district? Well, we're going to be building some factories. And these factories, of course, are going to have chimneys and gears, because, you know, it's a steampunk city. You gotta have steam, and you gotta have gears. So as stated in the foundation build, majority of the buildings and overall theme of this city is going to be using that white quartz block. But as you can see, I'm also using the black wood. I forget what it's called, the name escapes me. But we're going to use that as an interior wall building material, sort of similar to the orange sandstone we use in the Desert City build. And upon further inspection, this black wood is actually due to the texture pack. It's actually dark oak, but using the Aether's Ascended texture pack gives it that black look. And then the roof, I decided to go with a normal oak block instead of going with the dark oak block or spruce or some other thing, because I wanted a generic looking roof, as the gears I'm going to be putting on these buildings are actually going to be using spruce wood, so I wanted it to stand out from the roof and the wood walls. And talking about the roofs for a second, whenever I think steampunk, I think steep roofs. So that is the effect I went for throughout the buildings that I'm going to be building in this steampunk city. I achieved that by having the bottom part of the roof be a lot less inclined, and as we go up further and further up, the roof gets more and more inclined. And then I wanted to add a second layer to this factory, because this one in particular, is going to be the main factory, and there's going to be three smaller ones. So as you can see, again, I'm carving into the quartz like we would do in the sandstone, and the layer behind that is that dark oak. And then I added some even further layers behind that, which is the windows. Or, as you can see, the roof of the normal oak is even protruding on this flat face side of the roof. So we pan by the top part of the factory. I'm building the chimney right now, which is where all the toxic fumes are going to be ventilated out from. And then you can also see the gear that's attached to the factory. There's one on each side. And I achieved this effect by using the Minecraft circles diagram, and then just simply layering stairs on the outside of the circle to get that nice gear effect, and then putting the fences in the center with a block, and it looks just like a gear. And this is the final version of the large factory. And now we're going to go build a medium one, two smaller. So the remaining factories are going to use the same theme that we have established in our large factory, but it's going to have to be scaled down because they're on smaller models. So just like the first one, we're doing those same three arches on the side with the dark wood oak behind it, and then the glass. As for the location of why I chose this district in particular to be the industrial district, is because it's located, or will be located, right next to our harbor. So ideally, the harbor is going to be where all the trade's happening. Not a lot of people are going to live down here, so all those fumes that are being ventilated out of the factory, so they're not going to bother our citizens. So I wanted to pose a question for you guys, or not so much a question, but open this build up to discussion, I should say. As of right now, I have a couple of ideas and buildings as to what's going to be going into the Steampunk City. Some of them may not work out, and I might just have some extra room. So for example, I have a plan to build an observatory which will have a giant telescope on it. There's going to be the dock, that tiny square district we saw in the center of the city. There's going to be a giant spire, the main building of the Steampunk City. We're also going to have a trade district, which is going to have a clock tower in it, a park. The market will be around the clock tower, and that's about it so far. I'm considering doing an air dock, so like a spire again, which will be like sort of like our harbor but in the air, which all airships will connect to. But if there's anything else you would like to see in this build that fits that steampunk theme, put it in the comments. I would love to read them. Now I'm just finishing up what the mini version of the top tier slash chimney part look like on our larger factory, but on our medium factory. Once again, using a smaller gear this time, and only on the one side as well. And if you're wondering how I'm getting that sort of smoke effect out of the chimney, it's just web. Just web. The original blueprint for this district had one small factory and then two even tinier ones, which when I got around to building it, I thought, you know what, there's no way I'm going to be able to build a factory structure that small. So in the end, I ended up just copying this smaller one that's being built right now and pasting over on top of those two smaller tiny ones. And the small factory, unlike the medium and large one, is not going to have that second tier roof effect that we had. Instead, it's just going to have the lone chimney protruding outside of the roof. And then we still kept the gear, but the gear again is only on the one side, unlike the larger factory where it was on two. And the chimney itself is a lot smaller. And then we copy and paste it over to the right side of the first one. And then I had to fix up some of the pathing. The original ramp going to the wall got messed up, and then I had that little corner you can barely see that was just open space, so I decided just to throw in a random water fountain that looked cool. And with the fountain finished, our industrial district is complete. Now this is where all of our city's factory workers would go to build all types of mechanical contraptions, whether it be guns, airships, or even steampunk tanks. If you like the build, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time when we tackle the market and the clock tower. Bye then!